I would like to introduce Officer Nguyen. Did I say
Yes.
that correctly?
Yes.
And his partner, whose official name is Dobies, but his nickname is Ernie. And also, Officer Nguyen's friends call him Tommy.
Yes.
There is a map of Vietnam on the desk. If you could hold it up and point to the area that you are from.
Okay, it's gonna be down here.
Okay, so hold it up for me because the light is blaring.
Sit. See, it's gonna be down here.
And could you tell us the name of the, do you call it a town? Or?
Yeah, it's called the Vĩnh Long town.
And if you could tell me, how old were you when you first came to the United States?
I left Vietnam when I was 14. I came here when I was almost 18.
18 years old?
Yes.
And did you speak English at that time?
No.
Okay. So, the language of your culture is Vietnamese, but does everybody in the entire country speak the same dialect, or are there different dialects in the country?
It's all Vietnamese, but different dialects sometimes. Just like the north, the south, and the mid of Vietnam, they speak different. But I can understand it though.
Okay. I know that you can't speak for the entire Vietnamese culture, but in your own family, in your own culture, what was the primary reason that you immigrated to the United States?
The reason my dad left Vietnam because my dad was working for the South Vietnamese army back in the day, and after the war, in 1975, my dad, the communists, put my dad in the prison for 8 years because he worked for the South. So that's why he decided to leave the country. Otherwise, they're going to give him a hard time. So for the asylum.
You have an amazing story. You left the country at age 14 and really had to spend the next 3 years in a refugee camp. Was it in Thailand?
Yes.
Okay. In the Vietnamese culture where you lived, what was school like? Did you go to school locally, or
Yes.
what was
I went to school there to kindergarten all the way to 6 or 7.
And would you say that in the Vietnamese culture where you lived, is education important to families?
Yes, very important.
Are they public schools, or are they different in Vietnam?
A public school, but it's different from here. Here, sometimes you go for free here. I mean, you go to school free and lunch free or whatever. But in Vietnam, you have to pay everything. So if you go to school, you don't have money. Since some family they're poor, they can't afford to go to school.
Okay. And then the family dynamics in the culture, would it be fair to say that the adult male in the household is the head of the household, or how would you characterize the family dynamic?
I mean, most of the time, because the thing is, in our culture, the man is supposed to take care of the family. So basically, the man is the head of households for majority of family.
And then when the Vietnamese people move here, do they tend to settle in the same areas as other Vietnamese people?
Yeah, most of them, they tend to stay in one place, or some of them they move to their relative, California or somewhere, somewhere have a lot of Vietnamese community. So, Taiwan don't have a lot of Vietnamese here.
What would be the primary reason why Vietnamese families would not communicate with a school here?
School?
Yes, like if a teacher wanted a conference or something like that, what would be the primary reason why the family may not?
I think it's a majority because they have to work. Most of the time they have to work. They kind of like workaholic people. They have to work, take care, provide for the family. Or they're busy, or some of the family, they can't speak English, so they don't feel comfortable to show up on a meeting, or parent meeting, or whatever, So I think that's the majority. They don't want to show up.
Do you think education is as important for a family's girls as it is for the boys?
Yeah, I mean, it's very important. Education is always important for either boys or girls. In Vietnam, I don't think they have that. In Vietnamese, the culture, I don't think they have the boys and girls thing. Everybody, they always put education at the top.
Okay. And then, what was your best experience with teachers here in the United States when you were attending public school and had to learn English?
When I came here, I can't speak English at all, and I had to go to the they call it ESL, English Second Language. I had several teachers. They really patient with me, you know. That helped me out a lot. If I don't know anything, if I don't understand something or I don't know anything, I ask them. They explain to me. They take time to explain to me. So I mean, they help me out a lot. I think that's the most important thing. You have to be patient with people who can't speak the language.
How were you able to understand them? Did they use things like pictures or videos, or did they know your native language?
No. I mean, they have one of the Vietnamese lady there to translate, but most of the time, not only for history or biologies or something that we don't understand, then we can ask her. But in the ESL, I guess we use dictionary, and you know, for Vietnamese, the dictionary Vietnamese we translate from English to Vietnamese. So that's how I learned.
Okay. And then, what was your worst experience with the teachers when you were trying to learn English?
I don't think I have anything worse with the teachers.
That's good to know.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, most of them teachers. I guess for me, because personally for me, because I grew up in the Vietnamese culture, we all will respect the teachers, the teacher, the professor, anybody. So I think that helped me out. I have no problem with them, and they always love me because I'm a respectful kid in the school. So I have no problem with them, but kids, yes.
What would your advice be to future teachers?
To be patient. Patient with the kid that can speak English. If you help them out as much as you can, and I mean, patience is the key. Patience is the key, because you know sometimes it's hard for them to understand, to explain to them how to do the homework or something like that. So I think patience is the key.
Okay. And could you teach us how to say a greeting in Vietnamese?
I guess say ciao.
Is
Ciao is like hi.
Okay. And then how do you say how are you?
It depends though. It depends, like the Vietnamese people, it depends your age and my age. Or somebody it's not the same thing the Vietnamese the English language. English language you can say anything. How are you for your grandpa, father, your older people. In Vietnamese it's hard, it's different. If you're older then I have to call you different. If you're younger then I tell you different.
How would you say it to someone who's generally the same age?
Bạn có khỏe không?
And that means?
That means how are you?
Okay. Thank you so much. And one amazing thing about Officer Nguyen and Ernie is they earned top dog in the nation for narcotics detection. I'm going to put your background in the PowerPoint so that people can read it.
Okay.
And I so appreciate you helping us with our school project and learning more about students who are learning English. And
Oh, you're welcome.
Officer Nguyen really has an amazing story, and I've worked with him for over 20 years. Has it been 20 years?
Yes.
You don't look old enough to be here 20 years, but he is one of the most dedicated, hardworking officers that I know.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ernie, and here's your toy.
There you go. Good boy, buddy.
Ernie.
Come.
Yes, Ernie.